He struggled, but all in his struggle, he kept going. So we must keep going. We must keep going. Peetah Morgan. Thank you.
One of many children. Blessings to you, Mother Ina. You're so wonderful. Thank you, Mama, for being here. At this time, word of encouragement will be brought to us by Dr. Gershom Nelson.
As I looked around and saw this gathering, it occurred to me that, believe it or not, we're all related. And as such, we need to understand our purpose for being here. And if there's nothing that one gets from this gathering this evening, is that Peetah Morgan lived an exemplary life and has left a legacy that we all can emulate and pass on to the next generation. It is bittersweet. We meet here to grieve the loss of Peetah with his mom, Hyacinth, his wife, Maria, children, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, other relatives, and a host of friends. While we grieve, which is a natural process and we shouldn't fight the grief, we have occasion to celebrate, because we can celebrate the life of someone who lived purposefully. I treasure the opportunity to share with you this afternoon a background to understanding Peetah and the Morgan family. It is only a week ago that there was the first forum held by one of the largest organizations with roots in Jamaica. It is called the Union of Jamaican Alumni Associations. And if you went to school in Jamaica, chances are that your high school is represented in that group. For the first time, there was a conference on reggae. Everyone came to the conclusion that reggae is a gift to the world from Jamaica. That deserves an applause, don't you think? However, it is not only a gift, it is a message and a challenge. There are a number of ambassadors who embraced reggae and Rastafarianism and made it global. So wherever you go on this planet today, you will encounter reggae and you will encounter Rastafarians. Peetah and the Morgan family have been authentic and systematic in their ambassadorship for reggae and Rastafarianism. So this memorial service is very, very, very special. because we celebrate the life and works of a second-generation ambassador for reggae. All the folks in the hearing of my voice are familiar with the pioneers in reggae, which actually include Denroy Morgan, Peetah's father. And he passed on that legacy to the children, and I am pleased and delighted to be celebrating with you this evening the life of his son, who has become an icon for the reggae message and challenge. But to appreciate reggae and Rastafarianism, we need to know something. We need to know of the enslavement of Africans in the Americas. We need to also know that after emancipation, the descendants of slaves were oppressed continuously and for an extended period of time. And you ask me today, has that oppression ended? And if you were to ask Peetah, and if you ask the Morgan family, through their songs, you will discover that there's work yet to be done. So it is not surprising, it's with that background that Marcus Garvey said, "Look to Africa for the crowning of a prince." And intriguingly enough, in 1930, a prince was indeed crowned. At the time Marcus Garvey made that declaration, there was only one country south of the Sahara that escaped the scramble for Africa that Europeans engaged in, separating and oppressing the African continent. That one country was Ethiopia. And in 1930, there was indeed a coronation. The coronation was of Ras Tafari. Ras is a title, by the way. But the revelation did not end there. 5 years later, Ethiopia, that had not previously been colonized, was invaded by fascism. After World War II, there emerged what was called the League of Nations. Ethiopia was a member of the League. The League had as its principal objective to prevent another world war, like World War I. And so the rule was, any member state that was attacked would be supported by all members to repel that attack. So, Ras Tafari, who had been anointed Emperor of Ethiopia, assuming the name Haile Selassie I, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, made his appeal to the League of Nations. The League ignored his appeal. And in his Geneva address to the League and the world, Haile Selassie II declared, "There is a rule of the universe which says, what you do to others will be done to you. And to the extent that my colleagues refuse to assist in repelling fascism is the extent to which fascism will find its way to your doors sooner or later." 5 years. And fascism was overrunning Europe, plunged the world into World War II. The catastrophe is well known. The carnage is known. So then I need to give you one other connection. Leonard Howell, a follower of Marcus Garvey, knowing what Garvey said, observed all these developments and concluded that Garvey was indeed prophetic, and that indeed Rastafari represented not only persistence and deliverance from oppression, but indeed was a model for Africans in the diaspora to look to for strength, to look for redemption. At the same time as these oppressive elements enveloped the world, there began a musical transformation in Jamaica, so that by the 60s there emerged what we now call reggae. And reggae epitomized so well the oppression and the hope for deliverance that it fit perfectly with Rastafarianism. So, Peetah Morgan represents the unfolding of that history, the unfolding of that hope, that aspiration, that true one love, that equality, that pursuit of justice. He has represented his generation well, with excellence. He has, in fact, along with the Morgan heritage, elevated the genre to the point where the world looked around and said, you folks deserve Grammys. I think we all should be proud of that. So as we mourn, we even celebrate more, because this messenger, this ambassador of reggae and Rastafarianism has charted a course which tells us clearly that he rolled up his sleeve, he embraced his mission, and having equipped himself by the tutelage of Mama Hyacinth and the tutelage of Father Denroy Morgan, brought to the world a level of consciousness, a level of awareness that calls all of us to go down to the riverside. Yes. And so this evening, Peetah calls on all of us to go down to the riverside. We go down to the riverside to repent. We go down to the riverside to rejuvenate. We go down to the riverside to become refreshed. But having been refreshed, having been rejuvenated, we're called upon to rise up and proclaim the message of love, truth, justice, and grace, so ably represented by Peetah Morgan. Representing truth, representing justice, representing love is not abstract. It means we must engage in activities that are reflective of our love, reflective of justice, and reflective of truth. I must underscore the fact that Peetah heralded this incredible message to the world. And I must say, long live Peetah Morgan and the Morgan heritage. Say that with me. Long live Peetah Morgan and the Morgan heritage. We are here, and I hope we will appreciate the amazing accomplishment of our brother, whose life and works will live forever in our hearts and hopefully in our actions.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from Dr. Gershom Nelson. He's a retired Dean of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences from the University of Central Missouri. Come on, another round of, come on now. Thank you, sir. Blessings to the Morgan family. At this time, we are very honored to have in our presence the consulate from New York, the Consular General Alcion Wilson. Please. Let's pronounce it properly. You are the consul?
The Consul General from Jamaica to New York.
And your name?
Alcion Wilson.
Wonderful. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Family members of my dear friend, the late Peetah Morgan, my colleague, Consul General Oliver, he's the Consul General from Jamaica to Florida, musicians, other dignitaries, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I know we are mourning Peetah, but ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We're here to celebrate him. Today, we gathered here to honor and remember the life of a remarkable individual who also happened to be a friend of mine, Peetah Morgan. I would like to begin by expressing my dearest condolences to the family and friends of Peetah. Losing a loved one is never, ever easy. And my heart goes out to all of you during this difficult, very difficult time. When I received the call from Mojo, letting me know that Peetah had passed, it really broke my heart. As I have known this family for quite a very long time, Gramps and I have always shared a special bond. And I know how much Peetah meant to Gramps and Mojo. Peetah was not just a son. He was not just a brother. He was not just a husband. He was not just a father. Nor he was not just a friend. Peetah Morgan was a talented reggae musician. Who made significant contributions to our culture. His music touched the hearts and souls of the people all over the world. Especially in Africa, spreading messages of love, unity, social consciousness, and peace. Through his artistry, Peetah became a symbol of Jamaican pride and a voice to those who needed to be heard. I remember the countless times that Yvette, Peetah's sister, and I would travel to Jamaica all along the vibrant countryside to hand out sneakers to the students in Jamaica who could not afford to purchase one. Yvette would talk to me about her brothers, about one of my favorite group, Morgan Heritage. And we would sing as we drove through Portland. And sometimes I would get out and dance when I hear the songs that is sung by Peetah, Mojo, and Gramps. Today, as we bid farewell to Peetah, let us remember that not only for his musical prowess, but also for the kindness, warmth, and sweet songs that he has brought into our lives. His legacy will continue to inspire generations to come, reminding us of the of reggae music. To Yuna, Gramps, Luke, Mojo, Yvette, his wife, his children, other relatives and friends of Peetah, please know that you are not alone in your grief. The entire Jamaican community stands with you, offering you our sincere hope of love. We share in your loss, and we hope that the memories of Peetah's extraordinary life will bring you comfort in the days ahead. Please remember that the Jamaican diaspora will always be here. Your musical brothers and sisters will always be here to support you and to lift you up. May his soul rest in eternal peace, and may his music continue to resonate in the hearts of people across the world forever. One love.
Recently, I heard that Jamaicans all believe that we're number one. You agree? Yes. All right. Everywhere we go, we take over, right? Definitely. And everywhere we go, we have to have a mayor, right? Come on now. Come on now. We rule things around here, right? So, right this moment, we're about to take over Orlando. And in order for us to take over Orlando, a lot of picnics you have, you know, man, I tell you. Thank you so much, my dear sister, for that awesome tribute to your brother. And at this time, we're going to be graced with the children. Peetah, Morgan's children, is going to grace us now with a poem. Come on, children.
Thank you all for being here today. Heaven is a state of mind, a state of spirit. And once we are connected to the Spirit, whom or what shall we fear? There is no such thing as the end of a life, only more life to be lived. These are the teachings our Father instilled in us. As children, it was too heavy of a proverb for us to hold near. But come to find out, that same proverb was later a seed to be watered by our tears, weeding out our fears, and sprouting from the dirt our own tree of life, a new meaning of life.
Yo. Before my father ascended, all he asked for was to see us all of his children. And I saw the joy in his eyes as we all told him we love him. I saw the pure joy in his eyes. All them times we got to sing and dance. It's true to your soul. All the flash in the cans, all the jewels and name brands, my father didn't care for none of that. That's a spiritual man. What mattered to him was a connection, a spiritual connection. Enjoying the moment, enjoying the life created by the Most High Jah.
Rastafari.
A lot of great people that came up here and talked about the man that they knew as our father. And they were right. He did have a lot of different personalities. I remember always looking forward to the weekends. Dad would be making cornmeal porridge for us and sending us to Publix so we could go get the French bread. Can't forget that French bread. He'd be smiling ear to ear as we all just sat together and enjoyed, because that's all he wanted. He taught us to appreciate the little things, appreciate family. It's crazy to me how someone who solidified himself as a worldwide rocker could be the same person who would just love to sit on the couch watching superhero movies and stuff. Even in his softest moments, we could all see the lion within him. He showed us how to live. It's beautiful how we all learn to love from a distance, with him traveling the road, speaking his beautiful message to the world, and us as his children going out into the world to forge our own paths. We would always find ourselves together again. It was tough at times, but love transcends all things. We cannot forget that. His love, Dad, your love, is and always will be unconditional.
Being around my dad and having the chance to learn him beyond his artistry gave me the chance to truly understand and appreciate him more. I came to realize that my dad was not only an incredibly talented human, but he was charming, humble, full of life and so much love. He had a hilarious sense of humor, and I see now where my siblings and I get that from. He was supportive and very proud of me, and he made sure that I knew that. I'll miss you, Dad. Your jokes, your infectious laugh and bright smile, your velvet voice and super dramatic personality. I'm so honored to be your daughter. I will continue making you proud. I will keep my siblings close, and I will be okay. You did good, and your spirit will live on forever.
Our father was a beautiful man, inside and out. He was a family man and a loving dad with a big heart. Daddy, I want to thank you for always being supportive of each of us and all our goals. With no question, you encouraged us to do what we love, no matter how risky our choices seemed. And I will forever cherish the bond we shared. I'll forever be grateful for the years we spent together. And I'll always remember the memories you've made with all of us.
We'd like to take this time to invite our cousin, Anaya, and our bonus brother and sister, Talia and Jalen, to join us.